Hello and welcome to another edition of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
Hi, and I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show.
And today's edition is called
The Bert Locker.
Bert Locker. Burt Reynolds recently passed on, so we figured we'd do a tribute to Burt Reynolds. Excuse me. And also kind of do some movies about dogs.
But you have to explain that, because I don't think we talked about it on the last show.
No, we didn't. I was actually... it was the last 3 FBF, so it was the third Friday in August. I was walking to where I work, and I was walking by this person, and her dog just reached up and bit the back of my leg, like really bad, like lunged into it, like a pretty good-sized dog. Wow, we're out of focus. And so I got to the cafe and I looked at it, and there was a pretty good-sized bite mark on the back of my leg. So, I called, everything got taken care of. It's fine. I didn't have to have 5,000 shots or whatever when you get rabies shots. But
the big question is, are you going to sue?
No. No. I mean, it was just. I don't know. I'd walked by the dog before many times, and for whatever reason, he felt like he needed to protect his owner, I guess, and he just attacked.
Yeah.
But it had all the shots and everything. Everything was all checked out and stuff, and it was registered. So, So anyway, that's what we're gonna be talking
So,
about.
boy, the dog better not bite another person, otherwise they're going to sleep with the fishes.
Yeah. That's is that federal law or is that state law? I know in Vermont it is.
I don't know. It might be state law.
But yeah. So.
Dog can only get away with it once.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
And tying in with that, since how we're doing Burt Reynolds movies and dog movies, the perfect one. All dogs go to heaven.
Right.
Burt Reynolds is the voice of the dog. I haven't seen that movie in a really long time. I was a kid when it came out. I really liked it though.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I don't know, it was probably like late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, so that's our crossover.
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds was actually the voice of a dog.
Nice segue,
So we probably should talk about Bert first.
Yeah.
Bert on the whole, because he was one of the biggest movie stars for a period of time. He was like the biggest box office attraction from like, I don't know, I want to say like
late 70s to early 80s, mid 80s.
Yeah. He was he was the man. I mean, we've talked about this several times about some of the other people that were the biggest box office draws. People like Wesley Snipes, Kevin Costner,
Mel
Gibson. He was as big as they come in the 70s. I saw a picture of him somewhere with Robert De Niro. They were accepting some kind of award relatively recently. And I thought, gee, that's kind of a weird pairing. But
yeah.
Then, again, the way we talked about Robert De Niro lately, and Robert De Niro did some of his best work during that same period of time. But Robert De Niro, we kind of considered like a real actor.
Like a serious
actor. Yeah. And Burt Reynolds is a movie star.
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good analogy, I guess, the way of putting it. Because, you don't think of De Niro as necessarily the box office draw. You think of him as the guy that's going to bring home the awards, and he's going to be in a better quality movie.
Right.
Whereas Burt Reynolds, you're going to just think about and be like, oh, he's so funny and handsome and this and that. And
yeah, he's like a celebrity. But you know what I didn't realize, and I guess I'm not even old enough. I mean, Burt Reynolds just died. He was age 82, which is the same age that my father would have been this year. But Burt Reynolds, his big breakthrough was Deliverance, which I'm sure you've seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a really long time, but yeah, I've seen it.
I think it was 1970. But if not, I mean, I'm only off by a couple of years.
I mean, God, that's 48 years ago.
Yeah. And he was born in 1936. So Burt Reynolds was about 34, 36 years old before he had his big breakthrough and became the big star that he is. Prior to that, he had done a lot of television.
Television, right.
Which, some of those television shows, I think he was on Gunsmoke for a long time. He had a show, Dan August. I think there's another one in there too somewhere, but I can't remember what it was. He was a private detective. And it's kind of funny because he was this big movie star for a while. And then maybe toward the late 80s, as his star started to fade a little bit, he went back to television and he did a couple different television shows. So, but I looked online. I wanted to see like what kind of like off the top of my head too, like top 5 Burt Reynolds movies. And what comes to mind for you?
When I think of Burt Reynolds, honestly, the first movie I always think of is Stroker Race. Him wearing the chicken suit, whatever, and I don't know. That was one of my dad's favorite movies growing up, so we watched
Stroker
it.
Race?
Yeah, so we watched it a lot. Not growing up, for me growing up, it was one of my dad's favorite movies, so we watched it a lot, and I really liked it. You know, it's Burt Reynolds and Lonnie Anderson, and is it Ned Beatty, I want to say, is the owner
That sounds right.
of the car. And he has the words "fastest chicken in the South" written on the car. You know, I don't know, I really like that. And he was married to Lonnie Anderson.
Right?
And she was like the publicity organizer or whatever. But I mean that would certainly be in my top 5. So Smokey and the Bandit too. I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah, I think that's the one that really put him on the map as a superstar.
I think most people will associate Burt Reynolds with Smokey and the Bandit before anything else.
And his co-star in that, Sally Field.
Sally Field.
He was with Sally Field for several years.
Yep.
They were an item.
And who's the guy, the other truck driver?
Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed, yeah. And then you got what's his face is the sheriff.
Oh, Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who his bumbling son was, but
Too bad we don't have the thing working. I was going to ask, I know they did a sequel to it. They did Smoking the Bandit too, but did they do a third one? And I tend to think they did.
I hope not.
I think they might have.
Some movies you shouldn't make sequels to. I feel like Smokey and the Bandit's one of them. You know, like we were talking before the show, Caddyshack.
Right.
Perfect example. Caddyshack 2 was just stupid. I don't know if Chevy Chase just needed the money to be in that or what. You know, because he was pretty big at the time when the first Caddyshack came out.
Well, I wonder if sometimes when you sign on to a movie, if somewhere in the small print, if they were to make a sequel, you're obligated to make the sequel.
Yeah.
So he very well could have done
Why
that.
would it have been just him though? No one, nobody else. Like you would have thought they would have wanted Bill Murray in it because he was really good in the first one.
Right.
But Bill Murray was way more famous at that time than he was when the first Caddyshack came out.
Exactly.
What about The Longest Yard?
I like that. I put that on my top 5 list for him.
I would say that's probably my top. And the remake was even pretty good too, I thought.
And he was in the remake.
Yeah, and I'm not a big Adam Sandler or Chris Rock fan.
Though I don't really. I just caught very little of it on television when I was in a hotel room. So I got to see just like a little bit of it as they were kind of putting the team together.
Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing Burt Reynolds. So I don't know what part he played in that. Was he like the coach?
No, he ends up being the running back, actually. Yeah.
Burt Reynolds is the running back?
At the end, yeah. He doesn't really play, and then all of a sudden he does end up playing. I think he is the coach, though, now that I think about it. I'm like you. I didn't like rent it or anything. It just happened to be on TBS one day. I was like, I don't know where the remote is, so I guess I'm watching The Longest Yard. Commercials and everything,
Right.
Like, I'm one of those people, when commercials come on, I'm channel surfing. I can't stand watching commercials. Even at that Super Bowl, everybody makes a big deal about the halftime show and stuff like that. It's like, no, I don't care. There's something else on. There's got to be like a lingerie bowl somewhere going on. There seems like there's one of those every year now at halftime. So it's like, I remember one year the MTV did their Celebrity Deathmatch All-Stars at the halftime. And they had Marv Albert was the announcer. And Pamela Anderson was wrestling Jenny McCarthy. And I don't know. Have you ever seen Celebrity Deathmatch?
I think so, yeah.
They're pretty funny.
That's like claymation?
Yeah. And she was wrestling, and Jenny McCarthy had her. All of a sudden, Pamela Anderson did this thing where her boobs went down like that, and then it just spun up and hit Jenny McCarthy. And Marv Albert's like, "Wow, let's see that again." And he goes, and then it goes to the next match. And I think it's all the guys versus Jerry Seinfeld, the rest of the cast versus Seinfeld, because he didn't want to do the show again. As soon as that's over, they go back to Marv Alberts. He's like, "Let's see that again. Let's see that again." He just keeps rewinding it. It was so funny because it was right during the scandal with Marv Alberts.
Right.
So it was just, it's too mean, but it was so entertaining. So I think a lot of people actually watched that year over the commercials. But... Anyway, back to Burt Reynolds.
I wonder if they even do Celebrity Deathmatch anymore.
I don't think so. It was popular for a while when I was in high school, and then I think it just kind of went away.
Burt Reynolds must have been part of Celebrity Deathmatch. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Maybe he wasn't a big enough star at the time. So let's see. Well, I kind of expected you'd pick Longest Yard because I figured we both like sports movies.
Yeah.
And he did another one. He did the other football movie, Semi Tough, with Chris Christopherson.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's another. I don't think it's as good.
Like I said, I haven't seen a ton of Burt Reynolds because he's kind of like, when I really got into movies, Burt Reynolds wasn't huge.
Right.
I mean, like, I think the biggest movie he did in the 90s that I could think of was Striptease. And he plays like the perverted senator of whatever state they're in.
Right. I don't think I saw that. That
Oh,
bombed,
no.
didn't
I
it?
think-
Striptease?
Yeah. Actually, he had a bit better one, though. Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights.
Boogie Nights was good.
Did you see that?
Yeah. He was nominated for an Oscar for that. He actually expected to win the Oscar for that because he'd won multiple awards leading up to it. And I want to say it was the year Robin Williams won for Good Will Hunting.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Robin Williams deserved it over Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, you know.
'Cause I've seen both movies multiple times, and I think Robin Williams just kills it. And
Well,
wow,
Burt Reynolds was very good.
it's kind
though.
of messed up because they're both dead now.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
You know what else I read is that Paul Thomas Anderson asked him to do Magnolia, but I didn't see specifically like what role they wanted him for, and Burt Reynolds turned him down. So I don't know if he didn't like working with Paul Thomas Anderson or what.
I haven't seen Magnolia. Have you?
Yeah,
Is it good?
I'll have to bring it in.
Yeah.
Let me write this down.
Yeah, because Tom Cruise was nominated for an Oscar for that, and he lost.
It's a very
He lost to Michael Caine for Cider House Rules.
I don't know. I won't say any. I'm just gonna bring it in and
It's
let
Paul
you say
Thomas
it.
Anderson.
Yeah, it's Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I mean that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of.
Yeah, it's got. Did Tom Cruise got nominated from that movie? Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have too.
Yep.
He's real good.
Is he a singer or a play?
No, he's like a motivational speaker.
Ah, because I see him on stage with like a headset or something, right? Yeah.
But he's
It's got a good ensemble.
oh,
right?
it's a great part for Tom Cruise. I mean, it was like perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were Tom Cruise's agent, you'd be like begging them, take my guy for this, because it's just like a made for him,
Yeah.
and he's up
And
he's
he
up to the
nailed it.
task. Yeah.
I mean, I think Tom Cruise is a good actor. I know there's a lot of people that don't, but I think a lot of that could be jealousy too, because he's such a famous human being, you know. And
Yeah. Well, what do you think? I think he gets criticized a lot when he stretches, when he tries to stretch. Like he's in Mission Impossible, and people love it.
yeah,
To go back sequel after sequel for stuff like that. Those types of movies, they love him in. But what about playing Ron Kovic in Born on the 4th of July? What'd you think of that?
I don't know. I mean, I want to say he was nominated for an Oscar for that as well.
I'm sure he was, yeah.
Because he's been nominated 3 times. Because he was nominated for Best Actor for that, Best Actor for Jerry Maguire, and then Best Supporting Actor for Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, like, I thought he was great in A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
Opposite Jack Nicholson. You know, I thought his performance was excellent. I thought he was great as the cocky, selfish brother in Rain Man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you seen Collateral? Him and Jamie
Yeah,
Foxx. I mean,
right.
he was great as the hitman, the bad guy.
I've been getting ready. I almost was going to watch it again recently.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a really good movie.
What about, here's one that he got criticized. It was kind of a bomb. He did with Nicole Kidman called Far
Far and Away, that was terrible. His accent was awful.
See,
in
that's
that.
it.
It was awful. Like, his wasn't bad. I didn't think he was bad in Interview with the Vampire. But, oh my God. That was a Ron Howard movie, too. That was like a big box office production, and that movie sucked.
I think it was a bomb, too. I don't think it was a big
yeah.
success.
But he's really good in, he's great as Maverick in Top Gun, you know, and he's great as the driver in Days of Thunder. You know, so for the most part, I feel like he hits home runs pretty much with most of his
He
performances.
knows what he's doing. Yeah,
He does.
He's good.
He picks roles that I feel are right for him. Like, he knows that he can play that character. Like, I didn't really see much of Vanilla Sky. So, I don't know.
Oh, Jack Reacher.
Haven't
Jack
seen
Reacher?
it.
Oh, you gotta watch those.
Yeah,
First
Jack
one's really
Reacher's-
good. The second one's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
So Alex said Jack Reacher is good too. So that's kind of a little in line with Mission Impossible, I feel.
right.
Those kind of roles. Now, did you see Vanilla Sky? It's with him, Cameron Diaz,
I'm
Penelope
not sure.
Cruz.
It's on my list. I gotta watch it because
Kurt Russell's in it too.
I think it's one of my girlfriend's favorite movies.
Can't handle the truth.
I already mentioned that. Yeah, no, he's really good in A Few Good Men.
Magnolia.
Talked about that
Magnolia,
too.
right.
I don't even know why we're talking about Tom Cruise. This is a Burt Reynolds show. What? Whatever.
He's the new Burt Reynolds. No,
Yeah, he's the
not.
new Burt Reynolds.
Actually, I think he's. Well, I don't know. I was going to say maybe he's a better actor than Burt Reynolds.
I think so. I mean, I think he's got more range because he really does take pretty significantly different roles. Like, I mean, him as a lawyer in A Few Good Men, really, he seemed like he went to law school. Like, he's very convincing as a lawyer.
Well, I think he does his research.
I think he does,
he's.
too.
I think one of the things I read about Tom. I read an article about him years ago and said that he's a very driven guy, and that those parts where he can play a driven guy are the parts when he really excels.
Yep.
And I just think he's a very prepared guy. I think that driven personality would lead me to believe he would prepare. And let's face it, I mean, this guy, almost like nobody. I think we would have a hard time. We would be hard pressed to find somebody who's been as consistently popular as Tom Cruise.
I know.
I mean, I know he's the same age that I am, which means that he had to be like in the early 80s when he first did, I can't remember what the name of the
Risky
movie.
Business?
Risky Business.
Yeah.
Which was his breakout.
Mhm.
And I know he was in The Outsiders too.
Outsiders, yep.
And I've seen The Outsiders a few times since then, which I think he does a decent job.
Well, how was All the Right Moves? I don't remember that movie.
It was he played a football player
Like a big-time quarterback, right? In high school?
Right.
Yeah.
in Pittsburgh.
So,
I think it's Pittsburgh.
I want to say 86 he did Top Gun and The Color of Money. So that was like a really big year. And then I want to say 88 was Rain Man. Cocktail wasn't that far after. Born on the 4th of July wasn't that. I mean, since like 85, 86, he's been like, that's like a 33-year run where he's been one of, if not the biggest draw in the world.
Right. And he had arguably the biggest movie of the summer, this summer. So, I mean, he's
Mission
been...
Impossible?
Yeah. He is the...
But go back to last summer, though. The Mummy tanked.
Oh, yeah.
Why was that?
I don't know. I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
If it tanks, I tend to avoid them.
Yeah. I mean, just got like, it was just bad word of mouth from the get go.
But I don't think he's tanked though.
No,
I don't think
it was his doing or undoing or whatever.
Because we could look at a list of Tom Cruise stuff and find stuff that wasn't a big hit, but he's been able to maintain, like you say, he did Collateral. He was really good. Jerry Maguire. War of the Worlds was huge. He did that with him and Steven Spielberg. I think that might have been the highest grossing film that year. And I actually liked that. I thought that was a pretty good movie. What was the one he did with Emily Blunt? It was a science fiction.
Is it Oblivion?
Is that what it's
Or
called?
Edge of Tomorrow?
I don't know.
He's in 2 of them. I own both of them. Haven't seen either one.
Well, it's pretty good.
That's what I've heard. He dies and then he comes back to life or whatever.
Yeah, it's another one of these things that I guess when we
You
look...
haven't seen that one either?
No.
Edge of Tomorrow? Wow.
That's
No.
Edge of Tomorrow?
I know, dude. I'm terrible. I just got cable back not that long ago, so I don't watch movies anymore.
I think when we look back, say 10 years from now, when we look back, we're going to see this theme of like playing with time, where you're going to have that Edge of Tomorrow. There was
Oblivion.
what's the one with Leonardo DiCaprio?
And who?
I can't hear him, but he knows what I'm talking
Deception?
about.
Inception,
Right. Inception. There was
That
one
was
where-
good. I liked Inception.
There was one. It wasn't Tom Cruise. It was somebody else. The Adjustment Bureau. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, yep.
So there's a lot of that. That was kind of like a big theme.
I've only seen Inception of those 3.
There's the other one where trying to think who the actor is. The guy's on a train.
Oh, yeah. Is that Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see there was a theme like that. And sometimes if you go back in time, you'll see there are these themes in different time periods. Anyway, we're talking about...
No, we're not.
We went off on
We're
Tom
supposed to be
Cruise.
talking about Burt Reynolds.
Poor Burt Reynolds. If he
I know.
knew we were like straying, he's probably like, I'm a big star. What are you talking about Tom Cruise for?
I remember seeing a movie called Cop and a Half.
Yeah.
It's one of the first movies we got off of when we finally got satellite. It was the first movie we ordered from pay-per-view. It was him and Ray Sharkey. And like this little kid saw a crime or something like that. So Burt Reynolds is the officer, and Ray Sharkey's like the bad guy. I mean, I was a kid, so I probably liked it then. And if I watched it now, I'd be like, man, Burt Reynolds must have been broke, because it was. I mean, it's called Cop and a Half.
I mean, if we could look up Burt Reynolds, he had this one movie relatively recently. I want to say it was like 2 years ago, maybe, called The Last Movie Star, and supposedly I kept finding stuff about it where they thought he had a really good performance in it. It was a really good Burt Reynolds performance. But if you look at what he's done, he did a couple of movies. He did the Boogie Nights.
Yep.
He did something else. He did Striptease. He did a couple of parts like that, bit parts, and then he did some crap. I mean, like when we've talked about this before about some of the older actors, they get older and then they start
Just doing it for a paycheck.
Yeah, they sell their name.
Yeah.
And that's what Burt Reynolds did. He has. I mean, if you looked at what he did in the past 20 years, most of it is just crap.
Really?
Real crap. But he did have that run where he was
Not
the
like
biggest box office draw.
Not like direct-to-video crap.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Bad stuff.
Bad? Oh man, I didn't know that.
Stuff that's rated. I mean, you know this from IMDb. It's rated below 5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not even worth watching.
You start to get to like 4.6. It's like, man, that's not even worth watching.
Nope.
Well, let's see. What did we not mention?
Was he in Murphy's Law?
Murphy's Law. No, I don't think so. That was James Garner.
Was it Murphy's Romance? I could have sworn there was some kind of movie where he played a cop.
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe I'm thinking of Murphy's Romance. So we mentioned the five that I did off the top of my head: Deliverance, Smokey and the Bandit, The Longest Yard, Semi-Tough, and Boogie Nights. He also did some other movies. He did a little bit of directing too.
I didn't know.
He directed a few movies. He directed. He did this movie called White Lightning, where he played this character. I think the character's name was Gator. Mm-hmm. Then he directed the sequel.
Called Gator.
That was called Gator, and he directed it.
that.
I saw it pretty decent. Actually, it co-stars Lauren Hutton, who at the time, she was like a model
Right.
that was breaking into the movies and stuff. And she was, I don't know, one of my all-time favorite, favorite movie ladies.
Yeah.
I liked her a lot. She did Gator with him, so he did that. He did Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and I think he sings in the movie.
Oh boy.
And he was looking for movies that he was able to sing in. I think he did 2 or 3 movies.
I didn't know Burt Reynolds sang.
Yeah, we wouldn't know. We kind of wouldn't know that. And Burt Reynolds, down in, my mother lives in Florida, down by where my mother lives, sort of close, right? In Jupiter, Florida, he owns a theater out there. It's like I guess it's kind of like a big deal. It's like a big place to go and see musical theater in Jupiter, Florida.
And what about Cannonball Run?
Cannonball Run.
Wasn't he in that?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a big ensemble cast?
Yeah. That's another one that's got all those people. He did another one. Let's see. I'll name you some of the other movies he did. Cannonball Run. We said the last movie. So White Lightning in Gator.
Gator.
Did one called Hustle. Starting Over with Jill Clayburgh and Candice Bergen. They both got nominated for Academy Awards, the 2 women,
Really?
for that movie.
Wow.
For Starting
So it must
Over.
have been a decent movie.
Yeah, I just saw that today. I was like, wow, that's...
Have you seen the movie though?
I don't think so. And I saw it on like some because after he died, people came up with the best
Oh yeah.
of Burt
Oh,
Reynolds.
always.
He said Best Little Whorehouse, Hooper,
I think I've seen that.
Seamus. I think he was like a detective. That's another 70s one. He was really big. Did a lot of these like car chase movies, and he realized. I read a quote somewhere. It said, his movies appeal to people down south. Because I think he was a Southern boy. I'm trying to think what state he was from. Maybe he's from Florida. He played football in Florida.
He was in a movie called Gator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he.
And he played Gator, right?
Yeah.
So maybe.
So they said it doesn't even matter. All they got to do is like release a movie. They said they'd make their money back just releasing it in Memphis, because we make our money back because everything on top of that was gravy, and that was all those movies. That was White Lightning, Hooper, Gator. There was a whole bunch of them. whole bunch of movies like that, car chase movies with him. I wonder if he ever had his chance to like kind of bust out. I mean, I think he said, because he did some movies before Deliverance, but he basically said they were crap. He said he was like the best known unknown in Hollywood, you know. And then Deliverance, he said he was looking for that role, and he said this was the first script he had gotten that didn't have Paul Newman or Robert Redford's fingerprints all over it. So he was the first choice, and he said he was like psyched about that. And like I say, I think he was about 34 years old before he finally got that big bust out.
Well, yeah, when he did though, he went on quite a ride.
He had to run. He was the man.
Yep.
He did this. Did you ever hear about this? He did this. He was kind of famous in the 70s. He did this nude layout in Cosmopolitan magazine. They took like a centerfold shot of him naked, and they put it in. But he was naked, but I don't think they didn't show his his family jewels or anything.
Right.
So like he had his leg over it or whatever. But
I think I have heard of this.
it was all the rage at the time. It was a big thing.
So he was like a sex symbol.
Yeah, and he said, yeah, he goes, I had a sense of humor at the time, you know. He was probably about that 30, 35 years old or whatever. He was probably at his peak, and
Right.
he was a sex symbol. Women loved him, you know, with the mustache and everything.
Right.
Because if you look on the page, you can see some pictures of him from his television days before that, before he grew the mustache.
Oh, really? I think Burt Reynolds would look funny without a mustache. Did he have a
Not in Deliverance.
I was going to say, he didn't have a mustache in Deliverance.
No.
I didn't think so.
But something about him, like if you look at him, he really didn't like come into his own until later. Like I saw some pictures of him when he was younger, like on somebody's, I think it was on Gunsmoke, and it was like he looked a little goofy. You know, he kind of came into his own in the 30s. In his 30s,
in his
I should
30s,
say.
right? Not the 30s.
You know, he also, while we're talking about him, before we
go off and start talking about John Travolta or something.
He also, if you think about, you know, you ever look up like botched or like plastic surgeries and stuff like that? When you think about men having plastic surgery, two people come to mind right off the bat. It was like Burt Reynolds and Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Because Mickey Rourke had some like weird looking plastic surgery. He did a movie, Burt Reynolds did a movie where he played a supporting role to Sylvester Stallone. The movie was called Drive. Did you see this? I think I saw it in Bellows Falls. I'm pretty sure I saw it in this theater here. And it's not a great movie. But whoever it was some young guy who was like the driver in this movie. And he was like billed with Stallone, Burt Reynolds, probably somebody else.
Oh, Driven.
Is that what it's called?
Driven, yes, I have seen that.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking
where Stallone's like the old over-the-hill racer that the owner is trying to get him to teach the new young stud. Yeah, no, I actually liked that movie.
Did you?
I did.
But you know what I know? That movie, I remember when I went to see
Burt
it.
Reynolds in it.
Burt Reynolds, I saw it, and his face was like
Who is he
stretched out. I was like, oh my God.
Who's he in it?
He's in it, yeah.
No, who is he in it? Do you remember?
I think he owns the team.
Okay, he might be. Okay.
But it was just, I was so shocked because, I mean, I hadn't seen him in a long time.
Maybe I didn't recognize him, and that's why I didn't realize it was Burt Reynolds.
And his face was like all stretched out. It was that plastic surgery where they stretch your face out and everything.
Yeah.
And it looked very unnatural. And it was kind of
I think
weird
I
looking.
have that somewhere. I'm gonna check that out tonight.
It makes you wonder, like him versus Stallone. And like, I mean, I saw this movie because basically I love Stallone. I do. I would watch almost anything with
I like
Sylvester
Stallone a
Stallone
lot.
in it.
I own every single Rocky movie. That's love right there. When you own Rocky 5,
That's love.
I got the box set of the first 5 Rockies. Then I got Rocky Balboa, and then I got Creed. And now there's Creed 2 coming out this summer
Yeah.
or this winter.
Is he going to be in it?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, he's Creed's manager. I forget
He's
what his
Rocky.
name is. Adonis Creed's manager as Rocky. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is a movie show where, and you know, people who watch movies, we like certain things. You know, there are guilty pleasures or whatever. maybe even actors or whatever. And well, both of us, I guess we're in agreement with this. We love Stallone. I mean,
Yeah.
Stallone is just,
I'd watch anything Stallone was in once.
yeah.
You know, like I said, I watched that. See, now we're going off on Stallone. Sorry, Bert. But
Well, I mean,
actually,
but
no.
this is a
Burt
good
Reynolds
one.
is in Driven though, so I mean, it's
I mean, you could kind of like, Stallone kind of came up in what, 75, 76?
yeah. So they're
with
probably
Rocky.
pretty close
So they were probably both pretty big box office draws at the
at the
same
same
time.
time. Yeah. And like I said, I watched the Stallone De Niro one called Grudge Match. That
I
was-
saw that too.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah, that's
Did you
one of
like
your-
it?
That's one of your movies I
Did you
watched.
like it?
Yeah, we did.
Kevin Hart and Alan Arkin are great, aren't they?
They are.
They're like two. They're obviously the supporting players, but they're both funny as hell. You know, and I liked it. It was an enjoyable movie. I mean, I got it when they were going out of business down here for like $3.
Right.
You know, so it's like it's cheaper than renting it. And this way, if I don't remember to return it, oh well, I don't have to because it's mine.
It's yours.
So yeah, no, I'm glad you liked it. 'Cause it was. I liked the ending too. I thought everything ended well. It was a good game, a good match. Definitely entertaining.
Right. Yeah, so I think, I don't know. So I think you would agree with this, but I mean, during the 70s, if you gave me a choice to see a Stallone movie, even like a Stallone movie that wasn't like a huge hit, versus Burt Reynolds, I would watch. I like him better.
Stallone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too. Definitely.
And I don't want to put down Burt Reynolds.
No,
I mean,
not at
but
all.
He didn't appeal to me. He wasn't going to bring me into the movie
Right.
theater.
Like I was never a huge Rambo fan,
Yeah, I mean,
but I loved Rocky.
but I got to say, Rambo was a good movie. I don't think I went to the.
I
didn't
didn't
go to
saw the
se-
first one. I didn't go see any of the other ones.
No, I didn't either.
But he did another one with Billy D. Williams in the '80s, like Nighthawks.
Oh,
Stallone, Billy D. Williams, and Bridget Nielsen.
oh,
I want to say all did a movie together. Because isn't Billy D. Williams Apollo Creed?
no, that's Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. That's what I mean. I think him and Carl Weathers did another
Oh.
movie with.
That's one to see.
Yeah, I think it's called Nighthawks, but I'm not sure. I don't know. We're gonna have to get my iPad fixed or something.
So the iPad's not working, so we have to do a lot of this off top. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to make one more comment about Burt Reynolds, right? And I wasn't quite accurate with this, right? Burt Reynolds did a movie with Clint Eastwood in the mid '80s. It was about 1985, called City Heat. Wasn't a big hit. I was working at the movie. I think I was working at the movie theater in Keene when that came out, and it. I think it was like took place in the 30s, something like that.
A Western, I'm assuming.
No,
No?
it was like gangsters.
Oh, wow, that's
And
an
you would
odd
think-
pairing.
Oh, Burt Reynolds, Clint Eastwood. You would think that. Well, Clint Eastwood at the time was coming off those Any Which Way But Loose type of movies.
Gotcha.
So he kind of dipped his hand into some of that comedic stuff at the time. That's it's kind of right before he resurrected the Dirty Harry character. I think. I could be wrong. I think Sudden Impact came out in 88. And I think that resurrected
Which
that
was that the last Dirty Harry?
the Dirty Harry one. I think it is. It might be the last Dirty Harry.
Because there's 4, right? I have all 4 of those. I haven't seen any.
Yeah, because it was Dirty Harry, Magnum Force.
Yep.
Oh shoot, I can't think what the third one is. The Killing? No, the Deadpool.
Deadpool. Oh yeah, I think it is.
And then I think he did
Sudden Impact.
Sudden Impact.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So these guys did a movie together, and it was like I say, it was one of those. They probably had a big budget and everything, big stars in it and everything. I think it kind of pretty much flopped,
Yeah, it's
as
just
I
big.
remember. But Burt Reynolds got hit in the head with a chair, so there must have been like a barroom brawl or something in the movie. He got hit in the head in the chair, and it damaged something on like his inner ear. And I think I was reading today he lost 30 pounds. He couldn't keep down food. I thought I remembered Lonnie Anderson saying that he had to stay in a dark room for months, like he couldn't focus his eyes and things like that. But I was wrong. I thought he had taken off a couple of years after that injury. But that wasn't the case. He kept working, but he didn't do anything. By the late 80s, he was pretty much toast. He
Done.
was doing kind of crappy movies.
Right.
You know? Which probably in Hollywood, they probably were making money selling movie tickets with his name and everything by that time. So I always hate to see guys go that way. It's kind of,
Yeah.
but
But
you
not
know,
everybody can be Tom Cruise and be at the top for,
Right.
That's,
very few.
Very, very, very few. Bruce Willis was a huge star for a long time. When was the last time you saw him headlining a huge box office draw?
No, he's been headlining stuff. Like he headlined the remake of Death Wish this past year, probably in the past 12 months.
Death Wish?
Yeah, they remade it with Bruce Willis as the lead.
Is that Charles Bronson?
It was.
That's what I thought. I didn't know they remade that. With Bruce Willis playing the Charles...
Obviously it wasn't a big hit.
No.
And
That's what I mean. He used to... When Die Hards, they were the thing.
yeah, he's taken a series of some crappy stuff lately.
Yeah. So, even... what was the other one?
What's the last good thing you remember? Red 2?
I haven't seen those.
Those good. Those are good
Honestly,
movies.
it might be Sin City.
The second Sin City?
No. Not that. Have you seen the second one?
No.
Don't. It's terrible. The first one.
Sin City was good, yeah.
Yeah, but Sin City 2 is stupid.
Is he part of that whole... what's that one he does what they did with Stallone and they brought all the action movie stars
The
out?
Expendables?
The Expendables?
I haven't seen those.
I haven't seen any of them.
Talk about bringing...
But I think Bruce
loading
Willis
up on washed up old bums. That's what the movie should be called, washed up old bums.
I think people liked it though. The
They made
Expendables.
3 of them.
Colin was a big fan.
Colin's sleeping. He's not even paying attention.
The Expendables, right? Yeah, he says he loves it.
Oh, it's his favorite movie of all time, probably.
Next to The Incredibles and the...
Hey, The Incredibles is good.
it is good. So,
All right, what about dog movies?
dog movies. So I went and I was researching dog movies. Now, I can tell you what some of the best ones are. Homeward Bound. Did you see that?
Yep.
It was like 2 dogs and a cat
Mm-hmm.
that ran away from home, or they ran away from home and the family left, moved without them, and they had to cross the country. That was good, right?
Yeah.
As a kid, we liked that. The Lady and the Tramp, an animated Disney movie.
I haven't seen that in forever. That was good, though.
Here's one. I haven't seen this one. Marley and Me.
I have. I didn't really care for it. I'm not an
With Owen Wilson?
I don't like Owen Wilson or Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, you don't like Owen Wilson?
No, I don't.
See, I kind of liked the first movie I saw him in was Bottle Rocket, where he played Dignan.
Is that's not Paul Thomas Anderson. That's Wes Anderson.
What's Wes Anderson?
Anderson.
It's the Wes Anderson's first movie.
Yeah. That's
And
right. I think Luke and Owen are both in that.
They are. You're
Yeah.
right. And I liked it, so I kind of like got into it. I got into him. Old Yeller. It's probably like a movie from the 50s.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yep.
That's a tearjerker.
Here's another good. Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch. I was just thinking about that. I was talking about that with a girl I work with today.
Is that Jim Belushi?
No, Turner and Hooch, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Jim Belushi's K9.
K9.
Yep.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's on my list.
Yeah.
Just not. It's not as good as Turner and
But
Hooch.
this is when Tom Hanks was just becoming like a mainstream star. Like he'd already done Splash, he'd already done
Big.
yeah, I think it was right after Big. Cuz Big was his first. A lot of people don't realize Tom Hanks was nominated for best actor for Big.
Oh.
Cuz most people think of comedy and not necessarily being associated, but I think there's a lot of comedic work that doesn't get recognized that probably should. But no, he was great in that, and then I think Turner Hooch came right after, and it's a good movie. It's a cute movie.
Well, it made it made the list of best dog movies,
K9 was good too.
which I haven't seen. K9 was good.
Yeah, I like K9.
How about this one?
They're very similar.
It's called Hashi with Richard Gere, and I think it's like a reenactment of something that really happened. There was a dog in Japan, and I think and it used to show up at the train station to meet the owner every day. And then when the owner died, spoiler alert, but I already knew the story. I haven't even seen the movie. So I don't know if the guy dies in the movie or maybe he just goes on vacation. But anyway, the dog keeps showing up every day. And they built a statue of him at the train station because the dog used to meet the guy.
And that's based
every
on a
day.
true story?
And I think that's what this Hashi is with Richard Gere.
That's pretty cool.
And
that
that made
sounds like a decent movie.
Yeah, it made the top dog movies. Eight Below. I think that's about sled dogs.
Yeah, it
Eight
is. I
sled
haven't
dogs.
seen that.
Is that Cuba Gooding Jr.?
That could be, because there's another one called Sled Dogs, too, with Skeet Ulrich
Oh,
that came out. I think Eight Below was the bigger budget one.
yeah, and that's the one. That's the one that everybody. That's the one that made the list the best. I bet I have sled dogs on here too. I have. Where is it? Where's sled dogs? Snow dogs.
Snow Dogs, maybe that's what it was.
How about this? What other ones do I have on here? Eight Below. My Dog Skip. Did you see My Dog Skip?
Nope.
I think it's the kid Frankie Munoz that was on.
Oh, yeah, Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it, though.
I saw that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's one that comes. That would be one of my top 5 that I liked.
Yeah.
And what I found in looking at the dog movie genre is I haven't seen a lot of dog movies.
What about Beethoven?
Beethoven is on there. That was the very next
I
one.
love Beethoven.
But I didn't put a star next to that one.
Colin, you like Beethoven? No?
No, thumbs down.
You haven't seen it? Why not? Gee.
Do you like the composer Beethoven? Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
I haven't seen Cujo either.
I haven't seen Cujo.
Cujo!
Yeah, Cujo was one I was going to mention.
Oh, it's on
What
here.
about Silver Bullet?
Silver Bullet. I don't think Silver Bullet made the list.
No.
I haven't looked at this list in a couple weeks.
Oh, wow. Oh, Bolt. I've seen Bolt.
Bolt?
John
Yeah.
Travolta plays the dog,
Yeah.
voices the dog. Yeah,
Did you like that one?
Yeah, well, this I don't know. Do you know what it's about? He's a
Yeah, I think I saw
He's
it.
an actor dog, and he thinks he has all these powers, and then he goes out into the real world and he realizes he doesn't really have these powers, and it's all just like special effects and stuff like that. It's actually a pretty cute movie. It's pretty good.
I think I saw it, but I can't remember what the end of the whole thing is.
I don't either. I saw it. I saw it when it came out, and I haven't seen it since.
How about Milo and Otis? That's about a dog and a cat.
I saw that a long time ago. I think I was in elementary school when I saw that.
Now, what do you think? Like, well, you know, so you would know. I was going to say, like, going by those names, Milo and Otis. Milo sounds more like a cat name. Otis is kind of a dog
Yeah,
name. Right?
I don't remember, but
Could be
I
bad.
think you're right.
101 Dalmatians.
Yep, I've seen that.
These are like some of the best ones, right? Benji. Benji was a huge hit when I was a
Benji.
kid.
Yeah,
All Dogs Go to Heaven.
yep,
That's our crisscross with
yep. With Burt Reynolds to dogs.
Burt Reynolds voices a dog.
Dead dog.
So, The Fox and the Hound. I think that's another Disney
I
one.
haven't seen that.
I haven't either. Iron Will.
I think I have seen that.
Yeah, that's another.
I think Kevin Spacey's in that.
Yeah, that got I put a star next to because that kept coming up on lists as people's favorite dog movies. Lassie. I think there was a remake. Then there's a whole bunch of these that I didn't star.
White Fang.
Beethoven, Air Bud,
Yeah, bud. There's too many of
the
those.
dog that plays basketball.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of those.
Best in Show.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I bet that's funny though.
That's funny.
I see the cast. I bet that's a fun time.
Yeah, I can't think what his name is. The guy that does those.
Christopher Guest?
Christopher Guest.
Yeah.
Oh, I like his movies though.
I've never seen one, but I've seen the characters he's gotten at. I was like, that's got to be one quirky movie.
I have one I just watched, and I think I picked up for like $1 at Bull Moose. It's called A Mighty Wind.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
It's about it's a takeoff on these folk singers, and they did one about the Beatles. Their biggest one was the one about the rock band. Oh man, Spinal Tap.
Oh, he did that?
Yeah,
Oh, really? I thought that was Rob Reiner.
I think that's
I
and
thought it
Christopher
was.
Guest is in it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Rob Reiner wrote that.
Oh, all right.
But I haven't seen that. But Rob Reiner, I remember seeing an interview with Rob Reiner being like, people didn't get that this wasn't real. They're like, wow, I can't wait to see you guys in concert. And he's like, they're not. This isn't a real group. Like, this is like a mockumentary, you know? He's like, and people just didn't get it. They were wondering where they could get tickets to see Spinal Tap.
And that's what these guys do. Christopher Guest makes a lot of these mockumentaries.
Yep.
And I got to say, I watched A Mighty Wind, and there were parts I was just rolling on the floor.
That
It
is
was
a
so
great
funny.
name for a movie, A Mighty Wind.
There's another Buddies. Oh, they were all the Buddies movies. I watched a lot of those with
Buddies?
my son when he's growing up. Yeah, they were all these like little golden retriever pups. And they had Christmas buddies and Halloween buddies and
A lot of buddies.
Navy buddies. Oh my God, it's all. I don't think they were big hits. I think they were straight to video things, but the kids liked them. Let's see, Cats and Dogs.
I haven't seen it. Oh, The Truth About Cats and Dogs.
The Truth About
Have you
Cats
seen
and
that?
Dogs.
Uma
think I did.
Thurman, Ben Chaplin, Janine Garofalo. I saw that when it first came out. I was excited, and I don't know why, because it was bad.
As we mentioned, Cujo.
Yep.
Did you think about Cujo when you got bit? Like, "Rah!"
I kind of did, actually.
Well, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I just remember the part of, is it the kid or the kid and the mother? They locked themselves in the car. Because I think that was when they were amping things up. Balto.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. That's a cartoon, right? Like animated?
I think it is,
I think
yeah.
it is, yeah.
White Fang.
Seen that a long time ago.
Here's a new Wes Anderson one. Isle of Dogs.
Never heard of it.
It came out this past year, and maybe earlier, spring, and it didn't do well. It didn't get good reviews. People
No.
didn't like it so much, but other people thought it was really interesting. And I guess if you're into Wes Anderson, that's a good one. It's a movie called A Dog's Purpose.
I've heard of that. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I found the book at work. You saw that one? He likes it. No? He didn't like it at all.
He gave it 2 thumbs up.
K9.
There was a big controversy with The Dog's Purpose because there was some footage of them putting the dog in the fake wavy water. And
Yeah.
The dog looked scared. Then it turned out they were actually nice to the dog.
Oh.
And everyone was like, "Oh, they're so mean to the dog. Boycott the movie. They're torturing the poor animal. Blah blah blah."
And they weren't.
They did not torture the animal.
You heard it here first.
So now you know.
And if you follow news stories to the end, you learn some stuff.
Ah.
It's wonderful.
Find out the facts. That's just a little. So now you can, people, if you were worried about going to see A Dog's Purpose, you can. They didn't hurt the dog, so you can go watch it. K9 we mentioned, a Disney one, The Shaggy Dog.
Is that Tim Allen?
I think it was a remake with Tim
I
Allen.
think it is, yeah.
I think originally it was like a Kurt Russell movie when Kurt Russell was like who's the other guy? Dean?
Dean Cain?
No, before Dean.
Cameron?
Cain. No, there was a Dean. Oh, I can't think what his name was. He was a big Disney star. He did Herbie the Love Bug and stuff like that. Hotel for Dogs.
Haven't seen that either.
Snow Dogs. I wrote a whole bunch of these. Red Dog. Where the Red Fern Grows came up a lot of times on dog movies.
I've heard of that.
And Oliver and Company.
I've seen that. I like that. I saw that a long time ago when I was in elementary school.
So if they come up with a new dog movie, does it draw you? Do you go like, ooh,
No,
a new dog movie?
not at all.
Me either. I'm kind of like it doesn't mean much to me.
No. I mean, to me, dog movie is probably mostly going to be a family-based movie. And I don't have a family.
But if it was a gangster movie, new gangster movie,
Oh, yeah, I'd be there.
it'd pique your interest.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's certain genres, I guess, that, sports movies, if they're good, if they're well done.
I'm a big Christmas movie guy, too.
Christmas movies.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Christmas, but I like Christmas movies.
Huh.
I'm a Thanksgiving kind of guy.
So you get together with your family at Thanksgiving and watch Christmas movies.
Yeah, exactly. We've actually done that before.
So I don't know how close we are to the end of this, but
We got a few minutes left.
I was gonna throw out some ideas to you. Like I'm thinking. Did I say this last time?
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you...
Highest rated movies on IMDb that we haven't seen. Wouldn't that be a fun show?
Nope.
Because maybe if I haven't seen it, then you might have seen it.
Uh-huh.
Unless they're like really old movies that neither one of us has seen.
Yeah.
And then I wrote science fiction because I don't think we've touched on as a genre. We haven't touched science fiction movies. We've done westerns. We've done war movies. Gangster movies.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a lot of.
We've done
different-
decades. We've done years.
Decades. We haven't done romance movies either.
No.
Romantic comedies.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I haven't seen too many of those. Although I will say my favorite rom-com is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Have you seen that?
I don't think no.
It's actually, you should watch it. It's a good movie. It's definitely something for him and her. It's Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson.
Sounds like a good pairing.
Yeah, it is. They have really good chemistry. It's a really good movie. I'll bring it in so you can watch it. 'Cause
All right,
I think
yeah, I
you
haven't
and your
seen it.
girlfriend, I think it's something both of you would enjoy.
Yeah, she'll watch that.
Yeah, she's probably already seen it. It was pretty big.
Oh.
But no, it's one of those movies you'll watch multiple times. It's good.
Well, I have to think about.
I don't know, science fiction, that's tough. Haven't seen a ton of sci-fi lately. I still I gotta finish The Road. That's good.
You on the road?
I'm on the road.
You mean you own it though?
No, it's on Netflix.
Oh.
On streaming on
Okay.
Netflix. And I started watching it, but then the whole incident with me not having internet for a while happened. So then I had to ultimately get my own internet. Now I just gotta get back to watching it again.
Oh, I should watch that.
But yeah, sci-fi. I don't know. I'd rather. What were the other ones you had there?
Well, that was just we're doing dog movies. The other one was highest rated movies on IMDb.
I think that would be fun.
And see what we say about them. I mean, like the top 100, and then see which ones we haven't seen.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot that I haven't seen.
Well, I just think of like best pictures, and there are a few of them. Well, for the longest time, I think you lent it to me. I hadn't seen the Kevin Costner one.
That one, Best Picture.
Yeah. What's the one? It's a Western. He goes out, dances with
Dances
wolves.
with Wolves. Yeah,
Yeah, I hadn't seen that for years.
that's pretty long and quiet. There's like a lot of. You gotta really have patience to watch that movie. Like I watched it when I was a kid. I could not watch that movie now. It'd have to be broken up into like 2 weeks because there's just not a lot going on.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot. It's basically cinematography. You know, through a lot of it. I mean, but it's good.
Yeah.
It is good. It's just
It's a couple from the 60s I haven't seen. I haven't seen Tom Jones
I haven't seen that either.
or A Man for All Seasons.
I think I have seen that, but not recently.
I'm trying to think what else I haven't seen that was like best pictures. I don't know, but I think that might be a fun one for us to explore.
Yeah, I haven't seen Annie Hall.
Oh, with Woody Allen.
Yeah. You know what? You're really gonna be surprised at. I haven't seen Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh.
I had it, and the DVD that I rented from the video store did not work, and I was really irritated because I want to see it because those are two like living legends.
That's one I could see again because I probably haven't seen it since it came out.
Yeah, I mean that was like what 79, I want to
Yeah,
say.
right about then.
You know, and I haven't seen that, and that's one that I feel like I should see.
Yeah, we should go through and see. Now, how should we do it? Should we try to do it on the show? We'll bring up IMDb or just
Yeah.
make the list ahead of time.
Or we could do that. Make the list ahead of time. That would be easy. Yeah, let's plan on doing that next week.
All right. So that's what we're gonna do.
So we're passing.
Tune
the
in
hat
next
again.
week.
So
And I'm gonna throw it out. I'm gonna throw it out there. I threw it out to Colin too. I wanted to see if we would watch Brokeback Mountain. No, he's turning his head down. At the Brokeback.
Oh yes, you want to watch it?
The library doesn't have
Okay.
it, so I would have to order it.
Yeah. Oh, Colin. Oh,
Colin-
he already has it.
You own it.
You own it. It's your favorite movie. Okay. Well,
That's why I thought he was telling me about it, and I thought maybe we should watch it
yeah.
because he said there's some really good parts.
All right. Well, this has been the best pictures this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
See you at the movies.